Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host, as always, Ryan, and today we're going to be taking a look at our preview and predictions video of New Japan's New Beginning pay-per-view, which is taking place tonight, or if you like me in the UK, it's early hours tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. There's a lot of matches that are New Japan vs AEW. In fact, some might say it's like a mini Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which is obviously a big attraction to someone who watches both companies, like myself. So I have paid for the pay-per-view and I cannot wait to watch it tomorrow. I am actually really excited to watch this one. I'm going to watch it from beginning to end. Like I say, there's 8 matches in total, so I'm going to look at each of the matches and give you my predictions. And as always, feel free to leave your predictions in the comment section below, because it'll be good to see who gets more right at the end. So, having said that, don't forget to give us a like, drop us a comment, and of course, please subscribe to the Wrestling Group today. So up first in match number 1 is Fred Rosser, who obviously formerly worked for WWE all those years ago, part of the Nexus, and he is taking on David Finlay, who has been linked with a move away from New Japan. His contract has believed to have expired. He apparently has offers from both AEW and WWE, so this potentially could be his last ever match. It did seem that in the last pay-per-view that he wrestled, it did look like he was waving goodbye to Japan, because obviously the last match was in Japan. This match is obviously in the US, which is obviously where he's expected to make a move to in either WWE or AEW. So like I say, this could potentially be his last ever match. Now, even though it's his last match, I don't expect him to be losing to Fred Rosser. I don't feel like if Dave Finlay did lose to Fred Rosser, then that'd elevate Fred Rosser in any way, shape or form. I think Fred Rosser is exactly where he's probably going to stay for the time being. So Dave Finlay picking up a victory before then jumping to either AEW or, and he said New Japan, or WWE. Hopefully not WWE, but my preference would be for them to come into AEW, as I believe they do more with him than what would happen in WWE or NXT. They just repackage him probably as a leprechaun or the son of a leprechaun. But yeah, so I'm going to pick David Finlay to pick up the victory, like I say, in potentially his last match in the company. Up next is the second match of the night. It's a 30-minute time limit match of the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, and we have our 8th champion in Tomohiro Ishii. He'll be defending it for the second time, and this is going to be against Bolton Oleg, who is former Never Openweight champion and a Trios champion, or 6-man as they call it in New Japan. I feel like this is going to be a really good match. It's going to be strong style. It's going to be smash mouth. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to this one. But to be honest with you, I love Tomohiro Ishii. I love him. I think he should have been world champion at some point, but I feel like Bolton Oleg's going to pick up the victory and continue. He's been fantastic the last 2 years in New Japan, and I feel like he's only going to get better and better. So I'll be surprised if they didn't put the title on him tonight. In the third matchup, it's a 60-minute time limit, and it's the AEW National Championship. Of course, that means Ricochet is going to be defending his championship. Now, he is, of course, the first ever and only AEW National Champion. He'll be taking on Taiji Ishimori. It's obviously one of the greatest Super Junior wrestlers in New Japan history. And this is his 8th defense already with the title. He's obviously laying down some big work to begin with to push up a lineage of the title to obviously whoever then eventually beats Ricochet for the title. Going to have to carry this on and defend it obviously quite often and on different continents. You know, Ricochet's already been to CMLL, now he's in New Japan defending the title, and obviously he's defended it across the world through AEW. So it's going to be, this is the one that excites me probably one of the most, maybe second to the main event. I'm excited to see this a lot. I love Ricochet and I've always loved Taiji Ishimori, so I feel like you can't lose in this match, but I feel like Ricochet keeps the title. I do feel like he's going to successfully defend it. Up next is a tag team match, and it's just a normal tag match between Kushida and El Desperado, one of my favourites, Despy. Absolutely love him to bits. And they will be taking on Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, who have not long signed to AEW. It's pretty much just a tag team match, as is. It'd be interesting though because Kushida recently turned heel on MLW, so we'll be seeing him representing Contra. Maybe he comes out with a Contra t-shirt, or is it going to be like one of them? See, they do it sometimes where they'll turn heel on one promotion and stay a face in another, which would be a bit weird. But you know, not all wrestling fans watch all wrestling. I watch all wrestling. I don't watch all sports entertainment. Next in the fifth match is the 15-minute time limit of the New Japan World Television Championship. This is El Phantasmo's 7th title defense. You know, when Zack Sabre Jr. first brought the belt around, he had something like 30 odd defenses. It was brilliant, and then it flip-flopped around for a long time with people losing it in the first defense. And now it's with someone who's obviously racking up some good defences. So he's done 6 so far. This will be his 7th, but he is taking on the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in Kenosis Kester, the Alpha himself. And to be honest with you, I love ELP, but I can't see ELP defeating Takeshita in 15 minutes. So I feel like it's either going to be a time of a draw or Takeshita picks up the victory and we get a new champion. And you know what? That's what I'm going to back. I think the Alpha becomes the new television champion tonight. So up next, it's more of the demand from AEW. You know, how do they do it? It's that, isn't it? The demand. Ricochet's faction. It's obviously Gates of Agony, and they are going to be challenging for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. It is the Knockout Brothers in their 4th title defense. They are obviously, like I say, facing Toa Leo and Bishop Khan of Gates of Agony in the demand. I really like the Knockout Brothers. I feel like they're bringing a bit of difference and, you know, starting to rebuild that tag division, because outside of Bishamon there hasn't really been a tag team for a couple of years, so they're not proper teams to challenge for the titles. You know, we've had different mixes of factions, like, you know, we had the two from United Empire that won the belts, and then obviously we had Naito and Takahashi. They won the belts and lost them straight away, and it's been a bit of a mess, hasn't it? So these are starting to bring a bit of stability back, and to be honest, I would expect them to successfully retain the titles. Sorry, detain. They're going to detain the titles. They're going to retain the titles, I'd expect. Another one that really excites me is match number 7, and it's the IWGP Women's Championship, and it's Shiori, and she's defending it in her 2nd defense against the forever Ring of Honor World Champion. Is Athena, my favourite women's wrestler in the world today. She's been my favourite now for a couple of years. She's just next level. And I find this one hard as well, because the IWGP Women's title has a little bit... I think the last 3 haven't been that long, have they? They've sort of only had 1 or 2 defences. But Athena's my favourite. I love Athena. I can't not back it. But I suppose if Shiori gets a victory against Athena, then surely she gets a shot at the Ring of Honor Women's Championships. That might be something where we get a rematch in the future. It's a hard one. I'm desperate for Athena to win, so then she can hold both championships, but only then if they're going to use it properly in New Japan going forward as well as Ring of Honor. If it's just going to be like a Mercedes belt collector thing, then I'm not interested in that. I've got to go with... I don't know, because on my short I've done for TikTok, so I've done a short for TikTok and then I'm doing an in-depth one. And then my short I picked Shiori to defend, retain her title. But now I'm doing an in-depth look for YouTube. I'm thinking of changing it to Athena. It's a hard one. No, do you know what? I'm going to stick with my original. I think Shiori's going to defend it, retain it. But I would absolutely love if Athena won it. So either way, I can't really be disappointed, because one that I've backed and one that I really want. And then we move on to the main event, and it's the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. It is, of course, the World and Global Champion Yota Tsuji. In his 3rd defense, he'll be putting up his mid-card title against Andrade El Idolo of AEW. Now, obviously, El Idolo defeated Gabe Kidd to get this shot. And Yota Tsuji defeated Gabe Kidd to win the title. So this is an interesting one. And to be honest, I expect Andrade to pick up the victory. For the simple fact is, Yota said he doesn't want to defend both belts at the same time. Doesn't want to defend them on the same show. Therefore, he shouldn't hold two titles for me. Have him drop one title. The Global's fine. You know, he's only just won the world at Kingdom. Yeah, he's only just won the world title at Kingdom, and you know, he's brought back the old design, the better design of the title. And he's flying the flag really good and proper for New Japan right now. So he can do that as world champ. He doesn't need both belts, and I feel like you're going to start messing up divisions if you're holding up two divisions for one champion in the same company. So put the belt on Andrade. The idea of the global championship is always to be defended across the globe. So Andrade can do that. Andrade obviously wrestles in AEW as well, so he could defend it in New Japan, he could wrestle and defend it in AEW. He also has wrestled on CMLL, so he could go over to CML and defend it in Mexico. He's been to Germany recently and won a title in Germany, so he could go back over there. He's also wrestled for House of Glory, so he could defend it on that show. You know, he's doing a lot of independence as well as consistently being in AEW, so I feel like putting the belt on Andrade is the right way to go. It then further pushes the brand of New Japan in the eyes of people that don't watch it as much. Andrade's hot right now. It makes no sense. If you're willing to put him on, I feel like not 100% sure on this, I think he's got a dual contract with New Japan and AEW. He might not do, but if he has, it's the perfect opportunity. You know, Takeshita has, it's a perfect opportunity. Give him the title, let him fly the flag for New Japan across the way. So there you have it. That is my predictions. Let us know in the comment section below. Who do you predict to win each and every one of these matches? And of course, if you haven't already, please do like, comment, and of course, the most important one is hit that subscribe button now.